I know there's some debate among the consensus for who the second best prospect in the 2023 NBA draft is. Also, I think I have made it clear who I believe that is. Scoot Henderson is a special point guard prospect, one of the best I've ever evaluated. His combination of athleticism, skill, and feel is rare. In fact, only 3 prospects I've ever evaluated have higher prospect grades than him, and those 3 are Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, and Victor Wembanyama. So in this video, I'll be giving my projections for Scoot Henderson as a rookie, as well as potential peak, based off my evaluation of him as a prospect, and what I know about how players at his position develop. Scoot would be the number 1 pick in most other years, and if it wasn't for the draft rules that prevented him from being eligible for 2022, he would be a player that I think we would be talking about as the Rookie of the Year in Orlando right now. That's how special he is. This isn't going to be as wild as the Victor Wembanyama projections video I did a while back, because Scoot is a prospect more grounded in reality, but he still is absolutely ridiculous. So here's a quick overview of what Scoot Henderson is as a prospect. He's a 6'2", 195-pound primary creating point guard with a 6'8" wingspan. He's a freak athlete that has elite speed, quickness, vertical explosion and range, body control, and play strength. He has an elite handle. He can create off the bounce. He's a great playmaker and thrives in the PNR. Really good mid-range scorer. Has the mindset and ability to take over a game. Good motor, super high feel for the game, and his areas that need work are very much ones that realistically can be improved upon. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but he has flashed encouraging signs in that area. He could work on his shot selection and decision making, but that's just something you expect with teenagers who create offense as much as he does with the basketball in their hands, and given his feel for the game, that should just naturally improve. And he could work on his defensive consistency, but that's also true for a lot of young players. Now, time will tell if he will improve in these areas, but I do think it's realistic to believe that he can improve in these areas based off his intangibles. Now, in terms of rookie projections, he is similar to Victor Wembanyama in some ways. I don't think he projects to be potentially all-star good as a rookie like I think Victor could be, and that's something I mentioned in the Victor video. But he is similar in the sense of his numbers aren't really dependent on what team he goes to in the draft, outside of maybe Orlando or OKC, because he's just that good. And he's also proven to be able to produce at 17 years old on a team where he was coming off the bench and wasn't the focal point during his first season with Ignite. I also think playing against G League competition will give Scoot an easier time transitioning to the NBA. In no way am I saying that the G League is on the level of the NBA or even close, but they still have a decent amount of NBA caliber athletes, as well as guys who were the best when they were in college and have some level of pro experience, which is more than what you would get in college. It still will be a big adjustment for Scoot going from the G League to the NBA, and it won't be easy. However, I do think at the same time it will be a bit easier for him compared to college prospects. My rookie projections for Scoot Henderson are 17.3 points per game, 4.1 rebounds per game, 6.7 assists per game, on 43.2, 33.3, 80.8 shooting splits, with 4.7 free throw attempts per game, 3.1 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, and 0.3 blocks per game. I think he's going to be in the Rookie of the Year running easily, given the numbers I think he'll put up, on top of the fact I do think he will make whatever team drafts him better. I do think projecting him to win Rookie of the Year is a bit tough, however, but that's mainly because of how good I think Victor will be as a rookie. If you want to check out the video I made about Victor Wembanyama and why I think he projects to be in the NBA, I'll link that in the description below. Regardless, if Scoot actually does this as a rookie, that's the sign of a future franchise player, which is something I think Scoot Henderson has the potential to be. Now, peak projections are always tough because it's something only time will tell. We don't know how these prospects will turn out. No matter how much tape we study, no matter how many numbers we look at, we will never be able to truly know how good a player is in the NBA until they actually play in the NBA. And not only after a year, but after like 5 to 7 years, we won't know. And even then, there are outlier situations where they actually show improvement past those 5 to 7 years. We can't predict the future. Look at the recent MVPs or even the top players in the league overall. A lot of them weren't projected to be as good as they have been in the NBA when they were drafted. The draft is an incomplete science where anything is truly possible, and that's why I love it so much. So I want you to take this with a grain of salt. I could be right about this, I could be wrong about this. Honestly, I could be wrong in either overselling or underselling where I believe Scoot will be at his peak. That's what makes this fun. With that being said, my peak projections for Scoot Henderson are 27.2 points per game, 6.5 rebounds per game, 8.8 assists per game, on 47.1, 36.5, 85.4 shooting splits, with 1.8 steals per game, 0.7 blocks per game, and 8.6 free throw attempts per game. I think Scoot has potential to be perennial all-star to all-NBA level good in the NBA. Someone who has a chance to maybe even be a top 10 player in the league, as well as an MVP candidate level guy at his absolute best. I know these are lofty expectations, but expectations are going to be lofty when you have these kind of intangibles and gifts combined with this level of feel for the game at such a young age. Again, it's not a guarantee that he reaches this level at his peak, but I do think based off my evaluation of him, which is something I really just base off of watching the tape, looking at numbers, and seeing how guys with similar prospect tape and numbers project to the league, the potential is there to be that good. I want to make it very clear, I will not be disappointed if Scoot Henderson doesn't become an MVP caliber player, because at the end of the day, my evaluation of him doesn't matter. I do think he will be a good NBA player regardless. He has a super high floor in my opinion because of the intangibles and feel, but also has a super high ceiling because of that as well. And that could be true. What also is true is I could be very wrong about this. And that would speak more to my evaluation than it would about Scoot Henderson as a player. I'm not afraid to be wrong. Being wrong is a whole part of basketball evaluation that people shouldn't be afraid of. It's a chance to learn and improve from your mistakes. I don't think being right or wrong is the main point of evaluation, especially with prospects. Being wrong is way more common than being right, even with the best and smartest prospect evaluators, which, spoiler alert, I'm not one of the smartest or the best at this. I'm just a guy on the internet that loves to make basketball videos. This is a video we can look back on in a few years. A video I can use to improve the way I evaluate basketball, and with all that being said, Scoot Henderson is an unreal prospect, someone I think has a chance to change the course of a franchise, and I hope he does become that. I hope he becomes a great player, someone who's consistently an all-star and all-NBA guy, someone who's one of the best players in the league, someone who could potentially be an MVP one day. Not because I want to be right or want to be validated, but because I want to see a good basketball prospect become as great as they possibly can. In fact, I would rather be wrong about prospects I am lower on, because that's something that means there are great players in the NBA. And even if I'm wrong, I would rather be wrong and see the league be as great as possible than be right and the league isn't as great as possible. And that just speaks to the fact that I want to see great players in the league that's as talented as it's ever been right now. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, so if that's something that interests you, I really think you enjoy this channel, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out. Helps support the channel, helps me on the YouTube algorithm so more people find my videos, so in turn, I can make more content for you guys consistently in the future. Let me know what you think about Scoot Henderson in the comment section below. How good do you think he will be? Also, I am working on a really big project that should be dropping tomorrow, I think. So if you want to know when that goes live, make sure your notification bell's on. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.